In about 1983, my family realized that the property needed to be protected and used for social good in a way that benefited the country, theoretically. And my stepfather decided to donate the vast majority of the land and all of the infrastructure and the Houghton House and the River House to the Aspen Institute. The Aspen Institute had a very successful run here for many years, maybe 3 decades. And about 5 years ago, they changed focus and decided to have their headquarters in a major metropolitan city. And so they picked Washington, D.C. for their headquarters. And Aspen, Colorado would be sort of their field campus, and they wouldn't need 2 field campuses in that case. The original goal of the gift was to protect the historically significant agricultural cattle herd, the Black Angus herd, as it's quite likely the only closed herd of Black Angus in the country. And so that herd of about 300 cattle was donated to the University of Maryland with a long-term lease on the Aspen property so that they could graze here on the roughly 800 acres that Aspen had. The other aspect of the gift, in addition to social good and the cattle herd, was to protect an amazing peninsula with almost 4 miles of waterline environmentally from development. When Aspen was leaving, there was about 4 years of negotiations on how we were going to make this gift pay it forward and keep the original intent. Aspen, to their great credit, decided to donate the vast majority of the land to the University of Maryland. And they also decided to donate with a stipend payment to Hole in the Wall Gang the infrastructure so that the Hole in the Wall Gang camp, which will now be the social good component, which is a very valuable socially and medically and actually will be a great benefit to Queen Anne's County to have Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward's charity, the Hole in the Wall Gang charity, which benefits very sick children and also helps parents and siblings through what's a very difficult process. The original gift had those 3 components: social good, keeping the cattle herd here, and providing environmental benefits to Queen Anne's County in Maryland. And when we were looking for the social good component, we were so thrilled when actually Elliot Gerson at the Aspen Institute suggested the Hole in the Wall Gang as the social good component.
The Hole in the Wall Gang camp was started by Paul Newman in 1988. He founded this wonderful organization to pay all of his good fortune forward. We see currently about 20,000 children and family members every year, and that number's going to significantly increase with our new work in the Mid-Atlantic. We'll see about 3,000 children and family members on our Connecticut campsite, and then we'll serve thousands more children at their hospital bedsides in dozens of hospitals and clinics between Boston and Washington, D.C. We just launched into 4 new hospitals in the D.C. metro area. We have a full-time team of 40 hospital outreach specialists whose full-time work is to bring camp joy and activities right to a child's hospital bedside, to take over a playroom in the hospital, or to run hospital-wide events. That it heals the hearts and spirits of our kids. They've been so isolated unfairly, right? And they struggle with so much physical pain. But on top of that, the inability to make friends, the inability to feel accepted and normal. It's this horrible reality for them. And then their families witness that. But one of the other beautiful things about Paul, and this has to do with our finances, is that he never wanted the camp to be reliant on any one funding source. He knew from the beginning that Newman's Own was a lark. Who knew what was going to happen to it? So if the camp was too close, tied too closely with the success of Newman's Own, then if anything happened to Newman's Own, this beautiful thing would fail. So he knew from the beginning that he needed to invite the community to help support the organization. And so to this day, we wouldn't be here without Newman's Own. But to this day, Newman's Own provides about 1% to 2% of what we need to operate.
We have the two major sites are the River House site that we're currently in. So this was known as the Conference Center, and then the Houghton House Center, Houghton House and its surrounding buildings as well, which has the library and the carriage house and so on and so forth. So the Conference Center, the river complex that we are currently sitting in, this is what we're going to use for the next couple of years. So we're going to concentrate on this footprint down here. So changing the building that we're in right now to be our dining hall area. Downstairs, we're going to have a lot of the programming space that Jimmy referred to earlier on. And then in the buildings behind us, then we have where the families will be housed themselves. So that's sort of the nucleus of family housing will be behind us. So we'll have about 15 families here, and then the staff, the support staff that we will need to be able to offer the services that are required and really help build that community. And I think this is the epitome of it takes a village. This doesn't work if our immediate neighbors, the Spectors, the Corderos, the Horsemen, the Fitzgeralds, all of the Crofts, if they do not get behind this. This does not work if our neighbors on Wye Island and in Queenstown do not think that this is an important thing to kind of get behind. And so it is about informing people what it is that we're trying to do, find ways of getting people to be involved in work projects, hearing about the site, telling friends, hosting an event that can friend raise or fundraise for the organization, transferring some of those people who are interested into being fundraisers for the organization, donors for the organization. This is a marathon and not a sprint. So it's about building, understanding, helping the community understand the type of community that we want to have here, getting them excited about having something like this be in their backyard and saying, that's something that our community is proud of having here.